Oh, we are tracking a big weather shift. Huge headlines, very low snow, and a big blast of cold air. That is the one thing that has people talking right now. Very low snow with the potential for some of those flurries to make their way into the valley. So we're timing it all out as this big blast of cold air starts to move our way. Within a 24-hour period, we're going to see rapidly dropping temperatures. Also, a big storm lineup here, especially this late in February. Tuesday, shower chances begin. Snow level 4,500 to 5,500 feet. On Wednesday, showers return with our snow levels dropping overnight. Once that cold air is in place, all it takes is a little bit of moisture, and we have the potential for very low snow. Below 1,000 feet early Thursday morning. Shower chances will continue on Friday with our snow levels staying at about 1,000 to 2,000 feet. Now, the origins of this system are over land, so it doesn't have a ton of moisture to it, but it's picking up just enough from the Pacific that it's going to interact with that cold air and get those snow levels going pretty low. The last time we saw snow in Sacramento was back on December 7th, 2009, just a trace, but the most that we've ever seen goes all the way back to 1888, January 4th and 5th, where we had 3.5 inches of snow. Just taking a look at some of the records that we've seen with snowfall. It's not much. I know if you live in the Midwest or someplace, you're thinking, wow, that doesn't seem like that much. But for here in the valley floor, this is something. In December, only a trace of snow back in 1988, January at 3.5 inches back in 1888 as well. And then February, our largest snowfall amount was 2 inches back in 1976. March, also 2 inches back in 1942. And we've seen a couple of times in April that we've had a trace of snow as well. So looking at it month by month, just the most recent snowfall that we've had, 2009, we mentioned that, a trace of snow. So generally speaking, the last 5 snowfalls that we've had, it's only been a trace, and we're really not expecting much in the way of snow for Sacramento proper, but some of the other foothill locations and upper valley locations have a better likelihood. So Tuesday is when we start to see things get going here. A chance of rain develops during the afternoon. Real quick mover. This isn't going to be a huge storm for us. The first one to move through. Again, origins over land, doesn't hold a lot of moisture. Total accumulation will be more so to the foothills, and that'll be about 1/10 of an inch or so. Most of that is actually going to fall as rain. The snow chances won't increase until we get into that Wednesday, Thursday timeframe when we really start to see that snow level coming down. We'll see some decent snow coming in Tuesday into Wednesday. That'll be about 1 inch to 10 inches of snow. Nice to see for the ski resorts as well. We've got several school districts that are out for the week. They call it their ski week. And we've got the weather to support it as well. We need the precipitation actually to start to pick up. This month has been very dry, only about 1/2 inch or so for the month for Sacramento. 2.5 inches is what we usually see, so we're about 2 inches behind for this month. But for the season, it is a completely different story. We're over 2 inches ahead of where we should be, and that's because we saw so much rain at the end of December into January, which are 2 of our bigger wetter months for the valley. And February tends to be a wetter month for us. It's just that this one happened to be a bit drier. March and April, we still get precipitation. It just starts to trend downward here. You can see throughout the state, most of us still well above average. Palm Springs and Redding just slightly behind. Don't want to see, and actually Eureka as well, don't want to see too many of those extreme northern locations get too far behind, because that's where our biggest reservoirs are, including Shasta, which right now is at 85% of historical average, but only about 60% full. We're about 70% full for Oroville, but above our historical average. Folsom above our average at this point, but right now about 50% full. The one thing I do want to mention is that we want to keep them about half full to 75% full right now, because we got all that snow up in the high country to melt and fill these reservoirs. Plenty of capacity, even into New Melones, Don Pedro, and San Luis as well. Here's a look at the snowpack, and you can see it is healthy. We have already met what we normally see by April 1st. That's at that point that our snowfall really starts to dwindle into the drier months. So once we get to that April 1st average, things are great. Everything at this point is the bonus round. We're at 139% of our April 1st average for the statewide snowpack. So again, once that starts to melt down, we want capacity in the reservoir. So everything that we're getting right now is just extra to take us through the dry months. The biggest impacts of the upcoming storm cycle will be snow and travel. Wind is also going to be kind of in that moderate to higher end range. Wind advisory goes into place for Tuesday morning with gusts over 45 miles per hour. Could see some localized power outages, not expecting real widespread power outages to occur. Winter weather advisory also in place for Tuesday morning. That'll be for the Tahoe Basin. Wind gusts over the ridges up to about 100 miles per hour. Lower down the hill is a winter storm warning. The impacts being a lot of snow, 2 to 4 feet, wind gusts from 45 to 70 miles per hour, and big travel delays. Keep in mind, when we see that low snow elevation, that means chain controls are really low down the hill. Combine that with some blowing and drifting snow from these gusty winds that develop throughout the day, and that means very difficult travel. We'll see the winds as well throughout the valley, close to about 35 to 40 miles per hour as that big system starts to pull our way. It's going to be a drier one, but that's that blast of cold air bringing that snow below 1,000 feet. So from Wednesday through Friday, get ready for some big travel delays and the low snow. Again, once we see that low snow, chain controls go very low in elevation, and it is slow going up the hill. Driving will be hazardous at times, near whiteout conditions, major delays, road closures possible, and chain control. So travel is actually highly discouraged when we have these types of events. It all gets going with this first low that starts to blast on through what has been an unseasonably warm period over the holiday weekend. Here's a look at the valley lows. So you can see on Thursday, overnight Wednesday into Thursday, we're flirting with that freezing mark. And that means the low snow preps are underway, checking on family and friends, our home, making sure we have proper power supplies, travel, chains, emergency kits, and planning to change our travel conditions. All right, here's the look. Tuesday afternoon, again, the rain and snow start up. It's a fairly weak system, but once that's in place, that cold air, we get a second wave of moisture coming through, and here's what it's looking like right now, Thursday morning. Now, this could all start to change. So places like Lodi, Linden, a little bit higher up the hill, even in through Rancho Murrieta, and some lower elevations in the foothills, Placerville, Cameron Park, even into Auburn, accumulating snow at those elevations. It's just not completely out of the question that we'll see a few flurries a little bit lower, like El Dorado Hills, Loomis, Lincoln, even up towards Chico. We're expecting areas of snow into Oroville, Loma Rica, Grass Valley. It's pretty much a sure thing. We're going to be getting some good snowfall coming in. This will take us all the way through Friday with the rain and snow, but the snow line starts to move up during Friday. Here's a look at the total accumulation through Friday evening. 1 to 3+ feet of snow with big travel delays in the high country. Rain's going to be on the lower end here, only about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch for Stockton and Modesto through the northern San Joaquin Valley, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch for Sacramento and San Francisco. Higher amounts for Grass Valley and Sonora, but it's going to be a big rain-snow mix early on in the game. Then it turns over to snow completely in the mountains. We'll see snow pretty much through Friday here. A mix of rain and snow for the foothills. And then for the coast, it starts off windy, but then we get in on the rain late Wednesday through Thursday and Friday with a big shift in those temperatures. We come down some 12 degrees from Tuesday through Wednesday. That opens up for highs only in the 40s Thursday and Friday, and more active weather into next week as well.